So you see the next one we're moving on to is the flat iron steak. How many of you here have done flat iron steaks in your business before?
What's that?
Flat irons.
No, no.
Yeah. So again, this one we come to. We'll go back to the sharp backs again. We got it handed to us on a plate the first year by the Aussies, and you know we cut cross-cut blade steak and we tried to display it and actually do something with it, and it wasn't sort of good enough to give us a winning edge. So I was back to the drawing board and we actually Googled what we could do with the crosscut, and it actually come out that in America they're using it as a flat iron steak, and it's a huge seller over there. So that's what we basically did. We, doing what Michael's doing here, we got some crosscuts in, we basically denoodled them, took the silver skin off the top and the fat, we took the collagen out of the centre, and then we removed any of the bone skin from the underside and turned it into a frying steak. Because like coming into summer, what do you guys do with your cross-cut blades? Like you'll probably still sell a wee bit, but your volume normally does come down, doesn't it? Sam, what do you do with them? Mince. How many tenderisers use it for the barbecue steak? With the tenderiser? No one?
It's a beautiful steak, but I don't think New Zealand's educated enough on it.
Yeah, they're not, and that's where we come into it. You know, like if we want to sell it, the idea is we'll hopefully get them educated, and we will see it become more and more popular with time.
Yeah.
We can't get enough of it either, though, it seems.
In the summer,
Just get crosscut on its own.
in the summer, you seem to be able to get them.
Yeah.
They are there, you know, because.
Don't want them.
So that's why if we can buy them in for $6 a kilo, or even $5.50, and turn them into something a little bit better. So as you see, like there is a little bit of waste that comes off it. We don't class it as waste. The only piece of waste out of it really is the collagen out of the centre. The rest of it is actually still mince and patty trim. So do take that into account. And also, when you actually start doing a few of them, it doesn't take too long to do.
How does that roast up? Like, say if you were to like skin that off the collagen, straighten it off, and maybe roll it up as like a beef olive or something like that.
It'll
Like,
be perfectly fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
eat it right.
It's coming around now, you have a taste of it, and you actually see the eating quality. Every demo I've done, especially with Auckland, didn't really tell them what it was. They thought it was porterhouse steak.
What's that? Sorry.
It eats like porterhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So, and the secret, like, if you're going to do these, like I've got guys that are actually doing them that I've actually been dealing with, and they're getting 25, 22, $30 a kilo.
Yeah.
So that is they're getting more for their rump steak. Thank you. But just to ensure the tenderness, what we usually do is we do give them a bit of a tenderize. But the thing is, again, we don't want to drop it through a tenderizer or beat it with a mallet because it basically turns it into barbecue steak, doesn't it? And you'll all agree, barbecue steak sort of has a price point. It can't sort of go much above 15.
Lowers the product.
Yeah, it does. And you know, we're going to see it between now and the end of summer for probably $10 a kilo in a lot of places on special. So we use the wee blades. Like I know you're using one of these, Dan. But is anybody else using one?
Does Dunningham sell one?
Every $500 you spend with me, I'll look after you on one.
$45 each.
No, 60. Let's get real, these are good.
Good plug.
So, like I say, and yeah, we do sell them, and quite pleased to sell them because a lot of guys don't actually realise how good they are. Like it's just a simple and nice and easy to clean. You just take the screw out of there and the blade, you got 3 blades, you give it a nice wash and it's done. But it's as simple as just pushing it through the other side.
That's good.
But if you have a look at it, I haven't made it into barbecue steak, have I? I actually, again, deal with guys that are actually just all in their butcher shop to get their top price for their rump steak. They're actually using one of these just to give it a few pushes and actually just ensure that it is tender. You guys know what it's like. You can buy something that's a little bit So it's just another way, but we've just pushed that through it and turns it into basically a flat iron steak. And the other thing that we sort of, like when we were doing last night, we were sort of talking to the guys, and guys wanted to coat it in Chinese honey. Because, you know, like they said, oh, we'll marinate, you know, put a bit of Chinese honey on it. Again, you leave your Chinese honey, and this is only just an idea, leave your Chinese honey to your barbecue steak and go something a little bit different, something you haven't used for a while. Because, like, if you think, what was the eating quality of that like?
Yeah, really good.
Have you thought you're eating a piece of cross-cut blade? Nah. So,
Great flavour and tender.
this is, and what we've done is, that one that you've eaten now is actually, we've glazed it in the new Arabica coffee.
Coffee.
That's coffee. Nah, Arabica coffee. Just here. So just something a little bit different. We've also sort of, just as we've been going through and doing these demos, we've sort of been doing, like Michael Hill glazed one up here. Is that something else? Oh, I've got the water. You do a drive on a little there. And we're just trying to also, like, so a lot of guys, when they're using, like, so they're Dunningham's glazes or anybody's glazes, they're actually using the glazes 100% glaze, which is not really how they should be used. The best way to use one of these glazes is actually make it into a paste, and basically what we've worked on here is a third glaze, a third water, and a third oil. So you're actually bringing the cost down as well. So your glaze actually becomes cheaper than a marinade, but better than a marinade. Because, like, you know, marinades are good, but you guys have got to remember you're buying water, a lot of water. So by putting a nice glaze on it, mixing it with your oils and bits and pieces actually gives you a nice piece.
When I do all the glazes in my shop in Brisbane, we do a third glaze, a third water, and olive oil. So the water gives it depth and heaviness, which makes it heavier, and your olive oil gives it a gloss.
Is anybody using oils and waters in their glazes?
Yeah.
You guys are? Yeah. And it does make a difference, eh? It also brings your costs down.
Do you just make up what you need, or do you make up a whole big bottle?
You make up roughly what you're going to need. We had flavour makers, it must have been not last week, the week before, they actually come over and were telling us about it. They've had it tested. This here in the fridge will keep for 10 days. So once you've made it up, you don't just throw it down the sink, you actually keep it. So, and you just basically glazing your steak up, and you'll see within a short time that one will look nice and glossy, and the other one will sort of go quite dull. The other thing to do as well, as you bring it out of the fridge and it thickens up, you just add a wee bit more oil and a wee bit more water, so you're slowly extending it.
We do these at my shop. We put them in the servo first, and then they went really well, and now we just cryovac them in the 210 by 300 bags. We just put 2 per steaks in the bags, and I just call mine Karina's Coffee Flat Iron Steaks. So your steak's got a name to your shop. And then also, if anyone goes to a barbecue and they have your steak, the person won't say it's a flat iron steak. They say it's a Karina Coffee flat iron steak.
Do you dip those when you put them in your cryovac bags, or do you just vacuum seal them?
No, I marinate them just like that.
But when you put them in your cabinet cryovac, did you say? Do you dip them, or do you just leave them?
Just leave them. I don't flush them or anything.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, in Queensland, obviously, we've got a long summer, but we sell them all the way through. We're getting my rums are $25 a kilo, and they taste very similar to rum. So I put mine at $23 a kilo.
Do they ask what it is?
Yeah, and
Are
I
they
just
put off by it?
no, because it's a flat iron steak. So you've taken the barbecue steak out of the equation. So it's not a barbecue steak. So that price is gone. So the flat iron steak has got a new price.
So, and that's where you guys come into this butcher. Like, there's no way you could have put that in your case and expect someone just to come along and start buying it. You know, like, the best thing you could do is you'd definitely be cooking demonstrations and actually educating your customer. Otherwise, you know, like, they may not do it right. And of course, if they get a bad eating experience with it, they're not going to hurry back and buy it. But like, we've demoed that now to I don't know, what have we done? Let's just say 300 people, and not one of them has said, tough, yeah.
Can you show me how much wastage is on there again, sorry? Right. Was that just one cross?
That's just one.
Yeah.
That's one, and you've got,
What, 4, 3?
Yeah, there's no such, that's exactly it, there's no such thing as wastage.
that's the only waste that you
Yeah.
could use,
Yeah.
that you can.
Yeah.
That's your meatballs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your meat, well, that's your $15 a kilo for your rissoles or whatever you're getting.
I'm struggling with the coffee taste.
Me too.
No, I'm not tasting.
The way that I look at it is, how many people that you know have a coffee day?
Coffee day.
Don't know that many people.
Well, a lot of people have coffee now. So a lot of your customers, you got to think what they are having.
I mean, it's nice. No problem. I just couldn't relate the name of what the steak is to the flavour.
I mean, no one's saying that that's the flavour you use either. I mean,
No,
it's really
no.
nice chimichurri that we use.
Yeah, we've used the chimichurri, we just run out of it, so we didn't use it, we used it the coffee rub for this one.
The buffalo would be nice, huh?
Yeah.
But
And
the flat iron-
that's exactly it. It's a flat iron steak. It's not a Arabica coffee flat iron steak. The reason we chose coffee is very, very trendy. You don't have to educate using
Yeah.
coffee. If you don't drink it, you'd be
It's
one
just
of
a
the very
selling point
few.
more than this, I think.
It's more the thing. And again, when you're using a glaze, like how many of you actually read the side of the bag and actually see how much glaze you're actually supposed to use to the meat ratio you're using? How many of you? Yeah. The Arabica coffee is actually only used between 3 and 5%. So, you know, like if you're doing 10 kilos of meat, you're only using 300 grams of the glaze. And most of the other ones are about 7%. So, and like I go around to the stores and I see the guys using it and they're just tipping it on. And they don't actually realise, and then they go to the sink at the end of the day, or the end of with their tub, and they just give it a rinse out and pour it down the hole. So that's something else, you know, just as you're going, you've got to sort of think about those things, you know, how you can extend and make your product better for your customer. By putting a little bit of olive oil in, you sort of give it a nicer look, and you also help with the cooking experience as well. If you talk to a lot of people, they tell you that you should oil your steak, not the pan. So the same sort of thing, you've actually oiled it. And as you can see, one's still looking glossy and the other one is slowly sort of getting dark. And that's exactly it. So like, so think outside the square, make your own glaze, put your own spin on it, sell it as a flat iron steak. And like I said to the guys last night, if you're working in a retail butcher shop or a supermarket and you're lucky that you've got the serve over, make it a centrepiece for a few days and actually sell a story with it. So you don't need to revert that it was a piece of crosscut originally. All you need to know is that it's going to be a fantastic frying steak. It's big in America. You've been trialling it here. It's been selling really well. What we did with the Sharp Blacks is we actually cut them in the same shape as the old iron that you would heat on the coal range. We put some peppercorns on to make it so it looked like the bottom of an iron. And then we actually got a wing cast iron and we set it with them. So it sort of draws you to it, and then you can sell the story, sell the cooking experience, they take it home and they keep coming back. Because we're also talking, like...
I think the also big thing with this, the flat iron steak, is you've got to let it rest.
That's
the secret.
And that is the secret. We've sort of played around. If you don't let it rest, then it is a little bit sort of, well, it contains, it's a sort of steak you leave medium rare, so you don't want that sort of blood experience coming out of it, so you want it to rest out, so then it'll relax it. And we've sort of worked on, what was it, if you were cooking it for 2 minutes each side, you're sort of going to rest it for about sort of 2 to 3 minutes.
You've got to make sure all your staff are telling the customers. Because if you have it hot, it's not going to be a good experience unless you let that rest. When you let it rest, it is as tender as a rump or a porterhouse. But, you know, one of these, you want to make sure anyone who sells it tells every customer about it, or if you've got the pre-pack, you want a ticket on it about resting for 3 minutes.
When it comes to tickets and things, guys, one of the great things about this program is that we've done point of sale that goes with all of these recipes. So, I mean, these are the Twizzler ones that we've done. Basically, we do recipe cards. So, same as, you know, your normal beef and lamb recipe cards, except on the back, instead of saying, you know, 500 grams of quality mark beef mince, garlic, bacon, it says beef and bacon Twizzlers is the first ingredient. So it's basically saying, here's the product, here's what it is, and then there's sort of 2 steps. You know, grill it on a barbecue plate. 10 minutes and serve them sealed. So basically it's, you know, if the customer sees it, you can give this to them to take home. There's a butcher, independent butcher in Auckland who uses this a lot, this system, and he has these posters in the frames and he sits them on top of the serve over with the recipe cards just in front. So customers see this, then they grab this, make sure that every customer who buys the product takes one of these home, and he's seen great success.
So, like I said, just sort of capitalising on what Kim said there, it's not often in our industry we get a lot for nothing, is it? And so somebody's actually prepared to help you with promoting your product and things like that. You know, make the most of it. It's easy to, like for us as butchers, to come up with some really new ideas and some great product. And a lot of the time we sort of probably fall down if we haven't got the help with our tickets and our recipe cards and things like that. So, you know, just pick up the phone and give her a call and get some stuff in and give it a go.